David Seymour.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise on behalf of the ACT Party in opposition to the Overseas Investment Protection of New Zealand Homebuyers Amendment Bill. And I'd like some time to set out the reasons for that, Mr Speaker, but the time is very short, so I'd like to focus on one particular provision in the bill, which I think exposes, I guess, the misadventure in this whole enterprise of Mr Twyford. And that is that overseas investors under this bill can purchase housing, despite not being tax residents, if, and as the bill says, they are adding to the level of housing stock. And the reason that this is such a misadventure is that the price level of housing in New Zealand is ultimately set by the price of producing new homes in each particular market. And the reason why housing is so expensive in New Zealand, Mr Speaker, is that people who weigh up buying a new home and weigh up buying an existing home as an alternative are driven by what is ultimately the price of expanding the overall supply and building new homes. So if it costs $800,000 or $900,000 for a serviced section in Auckland, and if it costs another $200,000 to $500,000 to build the types of houses that people are building, well, that's why you have houses going for over $1 million. And of course, this bill says that so long as a purchaser is bidding in the market of new homes, then the bill doesn't apply to them. They're allowed to build, but they're allowed to purchase those homes despite being non-resident buyers. Well, Mr Speaker, if we are going to concentrate this rush and inflow of foreign speculative capital into the New Zealand housing market on the precise area of the market, that is new homes, that actually set the price for the market right across the city, be it Auckland or any other city, then we are not going to have any net effect on price levels. All we're going to do is put more and more pressure on the new build sector and therefore raise the price of housing across the city. Mr Speaker, that is due to a fundamental misdiagnosis of what is really happening in the housing market. Now, we've heard earlier that the real proportion of foreign investors buying homes in New Zealand could be as low as 3%. But let's say that that is a lowball estimate and it's actually somewhat higher. Maybe it's 3 times that at 9%, maybe it's a bit higher, maybe it's 10 or 12%. But the fact of the matter is that the real problem in the housing market, and particularly in Auckland, is that it is so difficult to build new homes. And Mr Speaker.
This debate is interrupted and set down for further debate next sitting day. The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. tomorrow.